Hello, I'm Tony Noser from Tactical 21, retired Navy SEAL. Here with my good friend Jim Foreman, also retired SEAL, with Range Talk.
You're speaking to fathers
Mm-hmm.
across America who are not Navy SEALs, but they want to be able to protect their families. From your perspective, doing it at the highest level, what is your guidance on somebody preparing themselves as best as they can at a civilian level?
That's a really tough one, honestly, because it assumes that as a father, everybody in your family recognizes your role as a father and your responsibility and your authority to carry that out, which has been degraded. I mean, I think deliberately over the past 40, 50 years in this country. So it's a difficult thing to do. It's probably one of the hardest jobs we have, being a mom or a dad, because those positions in our society have been degraded. So really, it starts with the leadership team of the mother and the father, husband and wife, and then ensuring that your children understand that those authorities, like when you're telling them to do something, that it's not a request. Now I say that, and anybody that knows me and has been to my house know that it's never perfect, right? So we all deal with those kind of things, but in a dangerous situation, they have to know that you are giving them orders that are to be followed. And I'm not coming from this is not a military. I guess it is kind of a military analogy, but the bottom line is if they get in a habit of not doing what you say or the opposite of what you say, that when you're in a situation where it could be detrimental if they do something different than what you say or question your direction, then it could be detrimental to the whole thing. Ultimately, it's about that climate, that organizational climate we discussed earlier, like in a business, that applies to the home as well. And so those roles and responsibilities of like who's the leader or the leadership team and what is that dynamic in the family is an important thing to understand, I think. And so that's kind of where it starts.
I'll say that even if you're not recognized as the real leader, when a stressful situation happens, they're going to look at you anyways,
Probably.
right? So, to answer your question about what could they do to prepare, I'd say number one, just to be situationally aware.
Mm-hmm.
That okay, hey, we're going to the super crowded place. There's some people look like they're on drugs over there. Why would I bring? But we're trying to get to this ice cream shop or whatever. Why would I bring him over there?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Hey, let's get in the car and go someplace else.
Yeah.
Right? Just be situationally aware that you don't want to put yourself or your family in a stressful or a bad situation just because you just assume that, oh, nobody's going to bother us. Like, we're nice people. Why would they bother us?
Exactly.
Right? So just try not to put yourself in tough situations. The other thing is being a little bit prepared, like in your vehicle, you should have a med kit all the time. A med kit, some survival items in case you're doing a 12-hour drive and you get a flat tire and you kind of run off the road, right? And nobody can see you, and you got some food, some sustenance, blanket, things like that, just to survive for a couple hours, 12 hours. Because again, they're going to be looking at you, and the last thing you want to do is like, man, next time that happens, I'll be prepared, because it probably won't happen, at least that way again. So you want to be generally prepared, have certain things that you probably never use, but if you do need them, you'll have them.
Yeah. And those are the kind of things you kind of want to have a trained response for, right? If you're not using them every day, you don't even know if you'll ever need them. You should pick them up, dust them off every once in a while, and make sure that you have a trained response around those life-saving tools and procedures. So think elementary school fire drill. Hopefully we never have a fire, but that doesn't mean we're not going to practice it. Same thing for active shooter situations or any kind of, taking your family someplace where there's potential for, some kind of bad situation to arise. So another thing on that, as far as mindset and situational awareness, know where the hospitals are. Know, maybe a couple different routes to go to and from wherever you're going. And that just takes a quick, Google Maps study or something like that. It's not difficult to just add that into your habitual planning routine.
In that same vein, if you're going to carry a firearm, a lot of people just go get a handgun and carry it. Is that more of a liability or an asset? How do people become an asset?
The training piece of that. So if you are thinking about, getting a concealed carry license and doing all that stuff, there's a cost associated with all of this, right? So there's a cost associated with being a protector. There's a cost associated with equipping yourself and becoming trained in order to do it proficiently and fundamentally sound. So don't forget about that cost. So if you're thinking about becoming a protector and assuming these roles and responsibilities, then budget that in ahead of time. Plan your budget appropriately so that you can afford financially to equip and maintain the skill set through proper training and coaching.